Today we are speaking about PCB analysis. We have some method, specific and non-specific. Non-specific methods are used to look at the chlorine hydrocarbon to PCB belong. Specific methods are gas chromatography and also mass spectrometry. The objective of the test kit are identification, measurement, classification, and transformer labeling. To ensure non-contamination, acceptable on economic issue, to give an accurate information, to ensure health and safety for sampling worker and people around. Based on the Stockholm Convention, we need to identify if our target product is PCB content or not, if the target product is PCB content less 50 ppm, if the target product less 500 ppm or more 50 ppm, if a target product is PCB content more than 500 ppm. We also ensure no contamination. I chose this photo because at the beginning of 1970, U.S. Army engineer make some study to identify, classify, and use a label to ensure if the transformer are PCB containing or not. If a target product is PCB content, we can put a label. In case of emergency, tank in an whole plant, we can use density test. It's easy way to verify if oil contains heavy concentration of PCB or not. Use a 10 mm glass vial for some water into the vial. Add some dielectric liquid. If the oil layer is at the bottom of the vial, the density of the oil is upper 1. In such a case, there are no doubt that the PCB concentration is rather high. If the oil layer remains on the top of the water layer, it can be assumed that it's a mineral oil with density less than 1. The figure presents a density test, but it's a wrong pretext. The man don't wear the correct PPA. He must use glass bottle, not PCB bottle, glove, cover close to protect his arm, and the area is dangerous with some broken drum very close on the back. The best way is to have cover close, but density is used because it's cheaper. In this case, we can show the PPA to make sampling. We are using tube, and if the oil is upper than water, the oil contains chlorine and potentially PCB. The test is using when you are not sure to have PCB or not, but we don't have result of the level of each measurement. First, following the PCB concentration is difficult to ensure the level of PCB. 2. Limited of the case when you have a large presumption of pure PCB. Third, we don't know the concentration of PCB is upper than 50 ppm or less. You can also use a Bernstein method, very easy to perform. Purpose of the test determines the presence of chloride, especially for the material being considered for long-term storage of artifacts. Principle: a material containing bound or unique halogen, chlorine, bromine, iodine, such as salt or polyvinyl like PCB, PVC, with react with the copper wire when heated in a flame and produce a brilliant, long-lasting green flame. You need to have only a piece of copper and a flame. Select first, the procedure is to select a material that you know will give you a negative result as a control. A polyethylene is good. Second, heat the wire until it's hot and have melt the plastic. It's necessary to hold it in the flame for at least 30 seconds. Tips: if you are using lighters and some else, you hold for you. Third, jab the hot wire into the sampling plastic and jostle it around its melted plastic is transferred to the wire. It's curling the end of the wire into the small circus or ball prior to heating. It will make it stronger. 4. Return wire with a tiny bolt of plastic on the back into the flame. Negative result. Now try on an unknown material. 6. Heat the wire again. As a pulled off a clean wire or burn off the plastic from the previous one. 7. Test the handle. Make sure you get the wire hot enough. Back to the flame. The result: positive, a stronger green color in the flame indicates that the presence of halogen, chlorine, bromine, iodine, but not fluorine. The flame must burn green for a long period of time if PCB are present. Impurities like fingerprint or surface treatment can be contained chlorine, can give a weak green flame with dissipate quickly. Particular attention: this stage should be performed in a lab chapel and hot ventilated room. It's a risk that highly toxic dioxin are unintentionally formed and released. Also, the result gives the CI content, not more. The chlorine, not more. For the PCB itself, PCB commercial chemical formula, we have some congener. 42 chlorine, 3 atoms of chlorine inside. 54 chlorine, 5 atoms of chlorine per molecule. 60 chlorine, 6 atoms of chlorine per molecule. In this case, we are using chlorine detection testing as AveroGuard by Miropore. The technology is an enzyme immunoassay for fast, semi-quantitative field measurement of chlorinated biphenyl PCBs as alcohol in soil. The reaction is performed on a methanol extract of a small sample of the soil. The system is designed to give decision on alcohol content at 5, 10, or 50 ppm, alcohol 1240 through 1260. The manufacturer provides testing regions and utensils, and a user manual, material data, safety sheet, and instruction to use of the testing system. We can use chlorine detection tested as AveroGuard by Miropore. The result should be limited to 50 ppm. For the PCB inventory, we have some product like chlor-on oil limited to 0 to 50 ppm. The test is a on-go test to segregate that more 50 ppm to another. The result is positive or negative. Approaching laboratory use FDX for fluorescence X. Fluorescence X to determine the PCB pre-analysis. The fluorescence X, we put the sampling in the tray. For fluorescence X, the system is starting, note the symbol of radiation. The sampling are identified by radiation running in 5 minutes, orange. The sampling are identified by radiation running 5 minutes, green. It's a different step of the fluorescence. And the result is done. The PCB should be not accurate because the calculation is based on chlorine, but also chlorine should be in oil. Also for the FDX, the silicate SiO2 should be modified the result. For the fluorescence X, in a laboratory, we consider a result upper at 25 ppm as a result upper at 50 ppm, based on our experience. For the PCB inventory in Turkey, we are using the L2000DX. The equipment should be used on site with a small provision of reagent. It's a US method, and the result should be interesting because the results are 40 ppm plus minus 2 ppm. And the result is upper than 40 ppm. The system gives directly a result upper than 50 ppm. All the results upper than 50 ppm are supposed to be analyzed by gas chromatography. LDX is based on measurement of mercury and solvent reagents. It's supposed to be used inside, but it can confirm if the oil have PCB on or not upper than 50 ppm. As a fluorescence X, it's a relative analysis, used only in the laboratory because we have radiative sources. Synthesis to identify no PCB or less 50 ppm for white hole. Method should be used to segregate polluted material or equipment or not. In case of doubt, we are making a double control. The method can be used to manage in 5 minutes each. Gas chromatography analyzes the method separate and analyzes compounds that can be vaporized without decomposition. Gas chromatography can be used to prepare pure compound from a mixture. The principle of the gas chromatography is to put in the bottle the sample under the column to identify the gas. They flow through narrow tube known as the column through with different chemical constituents as a sampling pass in a gas stream, carrier gas, mobile phase. At the chemical exists the end of the column, they can detect and identify electrically. The function of the stationary phase in the column is to separate different components, causing each one to exist the column at a different time, retention time. Other parameters can be used to alter the order or time of retention as the carried gas flow rate, column length, and the temperature. You can show the sample injector. The sample injector is in the sampling bottle. The monitor to survey the process. The result is interesting because we have on one of the left the 5 reference container and the result itself on the right. You can show what type of container we have in this analysis and what is the level. In this example, the 2 levels we have are around 20 ppm. That means we have no problem with this sampling. The result is expressed in ppm with an uncertainty of in percent. In case of value under 2 ppm, the value is expressed in 2 ppm plus minus 2 ppm due to the level of accuracy. The video are performed by Jean Hetzel for the English version, Lean Manager, Omer Halak, Turkish translation and Turkish version, with the support of Lassen El Bouai.